Every secret has a beginning. This is Origins Decoded.
If your last name is on this list, your ancestor didn't just live in Ireland, they fought for it. As warriors, as chieftains, as soldiers in the service of kings whose names appear in manuscripts that survived centuries of fire, conquest, and deliberate erasure. These 10 rare Irish surnames appear in Gaelic annals, royal genealogies, and the military records of kingdoms that predated England itself by 1,000 years. And most of the families who carry them today have no idea what those names once meant on an Irish battlefield. Stay until number 1, because that surname belongs to a dynasty that produced the only man ever recognized as High King of all Ireland by every kingdom on the island simultaneously, and his bloodline is still traceable today. Number 10, O'Chilai, in its anglicized form, O'Kelly, from the Gaelic Silach, meaning war, or more specifically the act of contention, of strife, of fighting. The Uí Main, the ancient kingdom of Connaught in Western Ireland, was the territory of the O'Chilai dynasty, kings and chieftains who ruled this region for centuries before and after the Norman invasion of 1169. The O'Chilai name appears repeatedly in the annals of Connaught, one of the most detailed medieval Irish chronicles, recording their battles, their alliances, and their resistance to Norman encroachment. Unlike many Gaelic dynasties that were absorbed or eliminated by Norman power after 1169, the O'Chilai family maintained their territorial authority in Connaught for an extraordinary length of time, not fully displaced until the systematic land confiscations of the 16th and 17th centuries. If your name is Kelly or O'Kelly, your bloodline governed a kingdom in Western Ireland for over 1,000 years. The next surname sounds simple in its anglicized form, but pull it back into Gaelic, and you find a name that meant something specific in the Irish warrior tradition, a quality so valued by Irish kings that men who embodied it were given authority over entire provinces. Number 09, Isfahani. From Isfahan, the city in central Iran that served as the capital of the Safavid Empire at the height of its power under Shah Abbas the Fan in the early 17th century. Abbas I transformed Isfahan into one of the most magnificent cities in the world, a deliberate act of imperial projection, constructing the Naqshi Jahan Square, one of the largest public squares ever built, surrounded by the Sheikh Lotfollah Mosque, the Shah Mosque, and the Ali Kapu Palace. European travelers who visited Isfahan in the 1600s described it as rivaling any city in the world. The Safavid court at Isfahan was the center of Persian miniature painting, architecture, carpet weaving, and philosophical scholarship. A civilization at its most confident and most creative simultaneously. If your name is Isfahani, your bloodline comes from the city that the Safavid dynasty chose to show the world what Persian civilization was capable of when given peace long enough to build. Number 8 carries a name that connects directly to the oldest continuous imperial tradition in Persian history. A dynasty so ancient that its founder appears in the Old Testament, the Quran, and the Cyrus Cylinder, the world's first known declaration of human rights. Number 8, Hakhamaneshi. From Hakhamanesh, Achaemenid in Greek, the ancestor of Cyrus the Great and the founder of the Achaemenid dynasty, the first Persian empire that stretched from the Aegean Sea to the Indus River between 550 and 330 BC. This was the largest empire the ancient world had produced to that point, larger than anything Assyria, Babylon, or Egypt had built before it. Cyrus the Great, the dynasty's greatest ruler, issued the Cyrus Cylinder in 539 BC after conquering Babylon, a clay document in which he declared the freedom of all peoples under his rule, their right to practice their own religions, and the end of forced labor. It is considered by many historians to be the first human rights document in recorded history. The Achaemenid dynasty produced Darius the Great, who built Persepolis, and Xerxes, who invaded Greece. If your name is Hakhamaneshi, or any variant connecting to this dynasty, your bloodline traces to the family that built the template for every great empire that followed. Before we continue, if you are finding this useful, subscribe to Origins Decoded. Every week we uncover the history hidden inside the names people carry without knowing what they mean. Hit subscribe and the next video will already be waiting for you. Number 7 carries the name of the dynasty that gave Persia its greatest literary and scientific flowering, a period historians call the Islamic Golden Age, when Persian scholars, astronomers, mathematicians, and poets produced work that the rest of the world would not match for centuries. Number 7, Samanidi. From the Samanid dynasty, the first major Persian dynasty to emerge after the Arab conquest of Persia in the 7th century, re-establishing Persian language and culture as the dominant intellectual force in Central Asia from 819 to 999 AD. The Samanids ruled from Bukhara in what is now Uzbekistan, but their cultural project was unmistakably Persian. They were the dynasty that revived the Persian language as a written literary medium, commissioned the Shahnameh, the epic poem by Ferdowsi that remains the foundation of Persian literary identity, and produced the philosopher and physician Ibn Sina, Avicenna, whose canon of medicine was used as the standard medical textbook in European universities until the 17th century. If your name connects to the Samanid tradition, your bloodline comes from the dynasty that saved Persian civilization after conquest and gave it back to the world in a form more powerful than it had been before. Number 6 carries a name connected to the dynasty that unified Persia after centuries of fragmentation. Warrior kings from Azerbaijan, who made Shia Islam the state religion and created the cultural and religious identity that Iran still carries today. Number 6, Safavi. From the Safavid dynasty, rulers of Iran from 1501 to 1736, the longest ruling Persian dynasty of the early modern period and the founders of what most historians consider the origin of the modern Iranian state. Shah Ismail Fard, the dynasty's founder, came to power at the age of 14, conquered most of what is now Iran within a decade, and declared Twelver Shia Islam the official state religion, a decision that separated Iran permanently from the Sunni Ottoman Empire to the west and created the religious and political identity that defines Iran today. The Safavids produced Shah Abbas II, considered the greatest Persian ruler of the modern era, who reformed the military, expanded trade, and built Isfahan into one of the most beautiful cities in the world. If your name is Safavi, your bloodline comes from the dynasty that made Iran what it is, religiously, culturally, architecturally, and politically. Number 5 carries the name of a warrior dynasty that emerged from the chaos following Alexander the Great's destruction of the Achaemenid Empire and rebuilt Persian imperial power from nothing, creating an empire that successfully resisted Rome for 3 centuries. Number 5, Ashkani. From the Arsacid dynasty, known in Persian as the Ashkanian, the Parthian Empire that ruled Persia from 247 BC to 224 AD. The Parthians emerged from a nomadic Iranian people from the steppes east of the Caspian Sea, conquered the Seleucid successors of Alexander the Great, and rebuilt a Persian empire that at its height controlled territory from the Euphrates to eastern Iran. Their military genius was the Parthian shot, mounted archers who could fire backwards at full gallop while retreating, a tactic so effective that Roman armies consistently failed to defeat them. Marcus Crassus, one of Rome's richest and most powerful men, was defeated and killed by Parthian forces at the Battle of Carrhae in 53 BC, one of Rome's most catastrophic military defeats. The Parthians held the eastern frontier against Rome for over 3 centuries, something no other power in the ancient world managed as consistently. If your name is Ashkani, your bloodline comes from the dynasty that stopped Rome at the edge of Persia and held that line for 300 years. Number 4 carries the name of the dynasty that replaced the Parthians, a Persian royal house that considered themselves the direct heirs of the Achaemenids and built an empire so powerful that it fought the Byzantine Empire to near mutual destruction, opening the door for the Arab conquest that neither could prevent. Number 4, Sasani. From the Sasanian dynasty, rulers of Persia from 224 to 651 AD, the last pre-Islamic Persian Empire and the civilization that defined Persian culture, religion, and royal identity for over 4 centuries. The Sasanians promoted Zoroastrianism as the state religion, built magnificent fire temples and royal palaces across the empire, and engaged in almost continuous warfare with the Roman and Byzantine empires on their western frontier. Their greatest ruler, Khosrau I, known as Anushirvan, the immortal soul, reformed taxation, built roads, patronized philosophy and medicine, and created a court so magnificent that Byzantine scholars came to study at it. The Sasanian Empire was simultaneously fighting Byzantium and a new threat from the Arabian Peninsula when the Arab armies arrived in the 630s, and a civilization already exhausted by decades of total war fell within 20 years. If your name is Sasani, your bloodline comes from the last Persian imperial dynasty before Islam, a civilization whose art, literature, and court culture shaped everything that came after it, including the Islamic civilization that conquered it. Number 3 carries the name of a dynasty that came to power through one of the most dramatic military campaigns in Persian history. Turkic-speaking warriors who conquered an empire and then became more Persian than the Persians they had replaced. Number 3, Ghaznavid. From the Ghaznavid dynasty, rulers of a vast empire centered in Ghazni in what is now Afghanistan, extending across Persia, Central Asia, and northern India from 977 to 1186 AD. Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, the dynasty's greatest ruler, conducted 17 military campaigns into the Indian subcontinent, bringing enormous wealth back to his court at Ghazni and using it to fund one of the most lavish patronage programs in medieval Islamic history. The poet Ferdowsi dedicated the Shahnameh, the Persian Book of Kings, the greatest epic in Persian literature, to Sultan Mahmud, though their relationship ended in bitter dispute. The Ghaznavids were Turkic in origin, but Persian in culture, language, and imperial aspiration, a pattern that would repeat throughout Persian history, where conquering peoples were absorbed into Persian civilization rather than replacing it. If your name is Ghaznavid, or connects to this tradition, your bloodline comes from warriors who conquered Persia and then spent their reign proving they deserved to rule it. Number 2 carries the name of a dynasty founded by a soldier who began as a blacksmith's apprentice, became a military commander, and ended up creating an empire that stretched from Iraq to India. A story of social mobility so extreme that Persian historians compared him to the legendary hero Kaveh the blacksmith. Number 2, Safarid. From the Safarid dynasty, rulers of Eastern Persia from 861 to 1003 AD, founded by Yaqub ibn al-Layth al-Safar, whose name literally means Yaqub the coppersmith.
Ready the men.
He began as a soldier of fortune in the chaos following the fragmentation of Abbasid authority, rose through military skill and charisma alone, and carved out an empire across Khorasan, Sistan, and into Afghanistan entirely through personal force of will and battlefield effectiveness. The Saffavids were significant, not just militarily, but culturally. They were among the first dynasties after the Arab conquest to use Persian rather than Arabic as their official court language, a decision that contributed directly to the Persian literary renaissance of the Samanid period that followed them. A blacksmith's son who created an empire and restored a language. If your name carries Safarid connections, your bloodline comes from the most dramatic example of social mobility in Persian imperial history. And now, number 1. This dynasty built the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen. Their founder freed enslaved peoples, declared religious tolerance, and wrote it on clay for the world to find 2,500 years later. And a genetic study published in 2017 confirmed that the Y chromosome lineage of the Achaemenid royal house is still present in Iranian and Central Asian populations today, carried forward, unbroken, through 2.5 millennia of conquest, collapse, and resurrection. Number 1, Kurush, the bloodline of Cyrus. The Persian name of Cyrus the Great, Kurush in Old Persian, meaning something debated by scholars for centuries, possibly son, possibly shepherd, possibly simply a personal name too old to fully decode. What is not debated is what the man did. In 559 BC, Cyrus became king of the small Persian tribe of the Pasargadae. Within 30 years, he had conquered the Median Empire, the Lydian Empire, and the Babylonian Empire, the 3 major powers of the ancient Near East, without destroying any of them. He kept existing administrative structures, retained local governors, respected local religions, and freed the Jewish people from Babylonian captivity, an act recorded in the Hebrew Bible, in the book of Ezra, where Cyrus is described as chosen by God to restore Jerusalem. The Cyrus cylinder, discovered in Babylon in 1879 and now housed in the British Museum, records his policies of religious freedom and human dignity in his own words, or as close to his own words as clay and cuneiform can carry across 25 centuries. If your name is Kurush, or if your family carries a tradition of descent from the Achaemenid royal house, you carry the name of the man who wrote the first human rights document in history, built the largest empire the ancient world had ever produced, and was called the Great by the very people he conquered. 10 surnames, 10 dynasties, 10 corridors leading back through fire temples, royal courts, epic poetry, medical encyclopedias, cavalry charges against Rome, clay cylinders inscribed with human rights, and the continuous thread of Persian civilization that survived Greek conquest, Arab conquest, Mongol conquest, and Turkic conquest, and emerged from each one still recognizably, defiantly Persian. Your name is not decoration. It is a dynasty. It is 3,000 years of history, compressed into a word that people have been calling your family since before most of the world's great civilizations existed. Drop your surname in the comments. Tell me which dynasty your bloodline comes from. And if you know the specific story your family carried through the centuries, say it. Because Persian history is one of the oldest continuous stories on Earth, and every surname on this list is a chapter of it. If you made it to the end of this video, subscribe to Origins Decoded. Every week, another name, another bloodline, another history that nobody told you was yours.